Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we have the patch notes for update 5.1, which is the X-Men update at the end of May. And there's a lot to get through. There's only one thing missing, and that's okay. Now, as far as the maintenance goes, it's going to be happening later on today. Unfortunately, it's not the earlier maintenance that we were lucky to receive last time for Endgame. It is the regular maintenance, so the game is going to be down until 2 a.m. Eastern time. So I'll be on Twitch a few hours before the maintenance is over. I'll be playing some God of War or some other game, maybe Marvel Strike Force, and then at 2 a.m. when the game goes live, I'll be, just jumping in for a couple of hours to check things out. Not too late, because I still need to make videos and then go to sleep. But in the meantime, let's dive into what we're getting with this update. So the overview is that we're getting 3 new characters, 4 new uniforms, we're getting a tier 3 Jean Grey, and then we're getting a bunch of additional items being added into the game. Now they're not new items, but they're basically rewards that you can earn. So basically this update has everything. It even has bug fixes, and it even has updates to certain characters' appearances that are already in the game. The only thing missing is a rework or a rework to an existing game mode or a new game mode. So hopefully the next update will have that, and that's the only thing on my checklist that isn't checked off. But now let's take a look at these new characters. So Iceman is the Emma Frost or the Sabretooth character. He's available through a crystal purchase, which is not really so bad because otherwise you would want to use a mega rank up ticket on most characters. That mega rank up ticket costs 2,600 crystals, so you're just going to pay the 2,500 crystals up front. You automatically get him at 6 stars. If he's a great 6-star character, you can stop there. If not, you can purchase some additional bundles of his biometrics to get them up to gear 20 and then use a tier 2 ticket on him. Or you could use a mega tier 2 ticket on him if you don't think if you want to save those crystals for something else and you have an abundance of mega tier 2 tickets. Not the easiest character to obtain, but also very free to play friendly because it's just crystal purchases like Sabretooth and Emma Frost. And just a tip for you guys for Sabretooth, Emma Frost, and even Adam Warlock. Last year for Black Friday, which happens at the end of November, both Emma Frost and Adam Warlock were discounted. So presumably the next Black Friday that's happening, later on this year, will also have the same discount, which will also apply to Sabretooth, which will also apply presumably to Iceman. I can't promise this, but that's the theory that I have in my head. So if you don't have any crystals and you want to get Iceman, you can look forward to the end of the year when it's snowy and it's cold anyways, and you'll be able to get him at a discount, hopefully. As far as what Iceman brings to the table, I don't see a lot of amazing effects here. He has increase all debuff effects, and that can be good, except I don't see all defense down, and that's really the big one that you want to see when you have a character that has that. And because it only applies to self, he can't really do any of that kind of debuff shenanigan stuff that White Fox can do with Deadpool, because it's not part of his leadership. He has immunity to, or chance to be immune to cold. He does have a 30% decrease all damage received, which is a nice little bump, especially for a blast type, so he should be a little bit tankier against speed types. But otherwise on his skills, I just see a lot of like cold freeze, stun effects. I don't see any fracture. I don't see any V-pad skills. I don't see anything that's jumping out at me. He does have immunity for 3 seconds with a self buff, and then he's got 6 seconds of invincibility here, and he's got another buff here with all attack and crit rate. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays, but nothing really too spicy is jumping out at me right now. Thankfully, he doesn't have a summon, so we don't have to worry about that. But he might be an amazing character that we just can't see the value of yet. He might have iframe ignore, who knows. Is he a Captain Marvel killer or a Thanos killer? Definitely not. Moving along to Jubilee, she is an X-Gene sub character, so you get her the same way that you get Juggernaut, the same way that you get Weapon Hex, Magic, Gambit. You can also get her from the premium hero chest that you can either buy for crystals but never do that, or you can get from the special mission quest packs and from other premium hero chests that they give out once in a while. In addition to that, for the maintenance, they're giving away a 5-star hero chest. Now, I don't think it's a premium hero chest, I'm not sure, but they're giving away a 5-star hero, which is pretty nice because it means that I'll be pulling 128 biometrics for free, in addition to the energy and boost points that they give away for the regular maintenance rewards. So that's a nice extra reward. They're being very generous with this update, and you'll see what I mean in a little bit. Her leadership, pretty boring. Her passive actually seems quite interesting. It's a 30% bonus damage, but it stacks up to 5, which is quite nice, because most of the time when you have a low percentage like that, it doesn't matter. But you can go up to 150% damage for 7 seconds. That's quite interesting. That could be powerful, and it could allow her to deal damage even when she's running around and kiting. And if the after image ignores iframes or something like that, it could be very good. She also has chance to become immune to mind damage, but, you know, I mean, that might be meta against Jean. Who knows? This might be good against Jean. Maybe Loki's leadership is going to make a comeback. Her skills do seem a little bit spicier than Iceman's. She's got a channeling skill, so she'll be able to, like, shoot beams presumably forever, or at least for a set amount of time, and it's got immunity for 5 seconds, so it fits the Cyclops 5th skill type of skill. And then her 4th skill is a V-pad skill, so that one you'll be able to move around while you're casting it. She also has a guard hit with a self buff. So I think Jubilee seems like a really fun character. She's going to be very fun to play. And then we have Bishop, the 3rd Blast character. He is available for free, and he's easily farmable from the new Dimension Rift. So we are technically getting some new content. We're getting some new lines of dialogue. We're getting a new stage, presumably or possibly some new enemy models and shading. But otherwise, there's no new content. His leadership is interesting. It's 20% energy defense and 4% energy attack. So we've never seen a combination leadership like this before. We'll have to see how good it is. He also has damage reduction, which is nice, but it's only energy damage, so it's substantially worse than Iceman's, which is a flat 30, whereas his is just 35 for energy. He does, however, have on his tier 2 passive, he has immunity when he's hit with energy damage. He becomes immune to energy damage, and he also stacks. So he has the immunity and the accumulation built into his tier 2 passive, which is very nice. The buff lasts for 8 seconds, but it's a 15-second cooldown, so hopefully I really wish this was lower, like 10 seconds or 12 seconds. And that's kind of OP because he gets 4% for each 1% of damage taken, and presumably it's up to 10%, so that's a 40% buff that he can kind of roll around with, but still 40% is not much. But it also enhances the effect of resistance, so presumably this will go up. Hopefully it'll go up to like 70% energy damage reduction, or maybe it'll go to an all damage reduction, but he should be very, very resistant to energy attacks. As far as his skills go, he's got stuns and paralyzes on multiple skills. He's got some burn damage. He does have a V-pad skill, which I think is the one we saw in the clip where there's lightning on the ground and then he kind of rises up and there's all these like red explosions and there's a red circle. I think that's the energy assault attack. And then his 3rd skill, Revenge Shot, has a mechanic like Wolverine's 3rd skill where there's a counter attack when you're defending against the enemy. So that should be interesting to see. It also has the damage buff, the increased damage by 50%, which is identical to or very similar to Wolverine's. And then it also has immunity instead of a guard hit. So this should be very interesting for characters that penetrate invincibility but not immunity. This might be a very strong PvP skill. We'll have to see how Revenge Shot works, but it's got a very cool name, Revenge Shot. So interesting characters, can't really say too much about them for now. We are getting 4 new uniforms, however. 2 of them we knew, Jean Grey and Storm. 2 of them we did not, Beast and Psylocke. So Beast is getting another look here. Presumably he's going back to being a hero, and it's a pretty boring uniform, at least from the effect. It just enhances the effect of his leadership. So hopefully he has like 5 full skill changes because, well, not 5, 4. His 5th skill's good for passing a buff, but hopefully he gets a change on 1 to 4 because honestly, Beast should be more than a werewolf type character. All he's useful for right now is passing a buff, which is kind of sad considering how integral he is to the X-Men. So hopefully they did a little bit of justice to Beast, but we're gonna have to see what Storm's is because hers is just buffing her tier 2 passive, I believe, Weather Goddess. Jean's gives her a flat 15% all attack buff, which is terrifying as fuck. And then Psylocke is getting her beautiful kind of white and pink uniform that people were speculating, and she's going to have a 30% chance to penetrate mind immunity, which I don't see as a real thing, but I guess it might be relevant soon. And then she's going to get 20% increased HP, so she might be a viable threat for PvP with this uniform. But the bigger thing that I think a lot of people are going to point out is that Jean Grey's uniform costs the same as Thanos. So this is our first hint that Jean Grey might be as expensive as Thanos to get to tier 3. So hold back your tears. She might cost, I'm not saying she does, I'm saying she might cost 1600 CCF, but we're actually getting a bit of CCF, so as you'll see, it's actually not as bad as it sounds. We're getting 6 characters potential, which obviously are the 3 new characters and the 3 characters that didn't have their potential yet. So, you know, Rogue is getting snubbed, Cyclops is getting snubbed here. Yeah, kind of an awkward place for the last 2 X-Men who are just left out. I guess they're planning to do an update later on for those characters, but yeah, kind of sucks if you ask me for them. And then we have Jean Grey's new Tier 3 skill, and holy shit, the Hounds of Hell have been unleashed, and this is easily the most terrifying Tier 3 skill we've ever seen. She channels the Phoenix, and she literally ignites and engulfs the entire arena in flames and rocks. This is by far the most badass Tier 3 skill I've ever seen, and this might go down as the most badass Tier 3 skill, period. And I could literally sit here for the rest of the video just watching this Tier 3 skill. I'm honestly shocked at how amazing this looks. Can we get a do-over on some other Tier 3 skills? Spider-Man's Tier 3 skills looking kind of shit right now. Ant-Man's Tier 3 skills looking kind of lame right now in comparison to this with 700 plus hits. That is absolutely insane. And yeah, I mean, listen, there's like, what, 10 minions there? So it's like a minimum of 70 hits per one target. So yeah, this is going to erase everyone forever. And if you were still doubting the ability, it's got tons of bonuses or tons of debuffs here. It has remove active buff from the target, so it can strip away invincibility and stuff like that, which is terrifying. And then it has invincibility for 9 seconds, damage buff. It's got a damage increase proc. It's got 9 seconds of penetration for fire immunity, in addition to 9 seconds of penetration with everything else. Super armor, barrier, shield, immune, invincible. You cannot hide. Unless it doesn't have iframe ignore, but judging by the look of this fucking monstrosity, it does have iframe ignore, so clench your anus now. And then here's where we get to the really good stuff. You know, the second best thing after characters would be, for me, a new game mode. The third best thing after a new game mode or a rework to an existing game mode would be free rewards that we can earn by playing in-game and showing how good we are at the game. And that's exactly what we're getting. We're getting first clear rewards for Shadowland Plus. So all you guys who have not been watching my Shadowland Plus videos, you suck, and you're gonna have to start watching them, and I'm gonna be able to make some new Shadowland videos that are actually gonna get views, because now there will be one first clear reward for every single stage after stage 30. That's right, you heard that right. If you get up to stage 100, you will have 70 stages or 69 stages of rewards. And the way that it works is from stage 31 to 34, and then from stage 36 to 39. So everything in between 35, 40, and 45 and 50, in between those zeros and 5 stages, you will get a Shadowland chest as your first clear reward. Now this does not reset. This does not get applied every week, so it's just a one-time thing, but it's still a huge gift. I'm usually clearing to about stage 80 these weeks when I'm going through and clearing with every single character and using 3 on a team to be as fast as possible. So getting to stage 80, just to put this into comparison, just to make this clear for you, getting to stage 80 means that I'm getting an average of 15 chests. On top of that, I'm estimating I'm going to get another 55 or 65 chests. So that means I'm going to be opening between 70 and 80 Shadowland chests this next week. That is fucking insane. That's so many chances for a CTP. But that's not all, folks, because in addition to that, every time you hit a floor with 35, with a 5 or a 0 at the end, you will get another first clear reward. And these first clear rewards go from pretty fucking good to holy shit, that's dank. 75 Cosmic Cube Fragments, a Tier 2 ticket, an Awakened ISO, 1,000 Phoenix Feathers for getting to stage 70, a Mega Mythic Uniform Upgrade ticket that's worth like $30 for getting to stage 80, which is not that difficult. 75 gets you another, so getting to stage 75 will net you 150 Cosmic Cube Fragments. Again, this is a one-time reward, so you will not be able to farm these every week, but this is still very, very generous. You get a total of 225, you get a total of 300 Cosmic Cube Fragments if you can get all the way to 125. I don't think that's possible right now. I think most players are capping out around 105, 110, but still, a Mega Tier 2 ticket for getting that far is absolutely insane. And looky there right at the end for getting to stage 130. You get a CTP selector. Yeah. That's pretty bananas. So I have to say, this is really this is the first step in making Shadowland Plus a real interesting and fun and kind of worthwhile game mode where you're constantly trying to improve. Because if you can make a 5-stage improvement week over week, you're guaranteeing yourself one amazing reward every single week. I mean, even if it's just 150 bios, that's almost as much as you get for clearing the first 15 stages of Shadowland every week anyways. So I'm actually pretty amazed. The only amazing reward that's not here is X Gene Selectors, but seriously, if anyone is complaining about these rewards, you should probably step on a nail and go and fucking fall into some Lego or something. These rewards are insane. The only thing that needs to happen now for Shadowland is the stages after 30 need to be changed. We need to get refresh stages. We need stages with new uniforms. We need stages with new characters. We need stages with new restrictions. We need to see X-Men stages, Fantastic Four stages. We need to see Inhuman stages. We need all those cool team-ups on Shadowland stages, and that will be the magna cum laude of state game modes. Anyways, I'm gushing over these rewards because they're bonkers. Yeah. And then for the first clear reward from 31 to 34 will be a Shadowland chest. So you'll get those additional chests the first time. So wow, that's a lot of stuff. Okay. In addition to that, we're getting a uniform ranking system, so you'll be able to see who is buying what uniform. Not necessarily who, but you'll be able to see what the majority of players are purchasing in terms of uniforms, and you'll be able to make better guesses, or you can just watch my content on YouTube and get the same information. You'll be able to favorite uniforms that you haven't purchased yet and make a cute little uniform purchase guide. So this is really nice for players who have sort of a game plan and they're kind of budgeting out their crystals. This is a nice way for them to see and track the cost of uniforms, and presumably the cost will drop and it'll show that there's a discount when there is a sale. Additionally, it also shows gold uniforms, so it's a really nice way to tell if a uniform has changed from being a crystal cost uniform to a gold cost uniform. So this is a nice little thing for players that like to do those kind of things, like to make lists, etc. We're getting a new Dimension Rift, which is where we get Bishop's bios and where there's going to be a brand new card. The brand new card, Mutant from the Future, is Uncanny X-Men 2018 number 8, and it gives the all-attack dodge buff. And I don't think it's a coincidence that dodge has become a prominent stat for CTP of Rage characters and for CTP of Rage accounts that are using them. So it'll be interesting to see if a new sort of best 5 cards creeps up that prioritizes all attack and dodge to try to max out a character's dodge so that their uniform and other build can kind of take advantage of other stats. So that'll be very interesting to see if this card actually, sees some play in the meta. And then we have a new kind of in-game purchase. You can purchase it for $2. It's kind of like the Stark Supply chest, except it's called the Beasts Support chest. You get 200 crystals up front. So this will immediately move you to VIP 1 if you're VIP 0, and then you have a chance to get your regular stuff, but it is kind of focused around, rather than rank up tickets, it's focused around Phoenix Feathers and Emkron crystals. So if you're kind of desperate for those types of materials, you can purchase this. It's a 1 purchase per account, and you should probably expect to just get the rewards over here. But honestly, if you pull 400 energy and 200 crystals for $2 is damn good. So I'm fine with that. We're also getting the kind of Iceman explanation here for what you do to purchase him and how you get him. We're getting a new uniform collection, the Disassembled for the X-Men. And then we're getting some additional changes and kind of UI stuff for World Event, telling you that you have attempts available because it's only 2 per day. And then the pop-up screen for World Event and some team bonus stuff is also renewed and kind of made to look nicer. And I honestly think it's important that they emphasize the team-ups because it's a really nice kind of callback to the comics, and it's really flavorful. I really like that. We got some extra stuff about World Event. It's really not that important. It's just kind of making things clearer and adding more information, which is always good. We're getting a change to World Boss Invasion, which I've always wanted. If you disconnect, or if you intentionally disconnect, when you go back, it will have your team saved. So you could just go right back in. You don't have to reselect the same characters. You can also skip the animation of the box opening now. And then we've got purchasing agent tokens, which you're never going to do. Some additional information for the items that you might be sacrificing for your agent level, which is also a good kind of quality of life thing. Where to get agent tokens, where to get agent kits. Some epic quest stuff to see about the collections. There's a quest pack thing that's not very important. This one is also quite good for the X-Gene and Bio subs. The character that you chose on the last day will be moved to the front for the next day, so you don't have to constantly scroll across to pick that character if you're not picking one of the top 2 or 3 or 4. And I really like this change. It's very small, but again, it's just like a quality of life change. We're also getting the ability to see which Uru are amplified from the character gear page. I really like this quality of life change. It's small, but it's really nice. And I think a lot of people are going to appreciate it. There's going to be a reject all, accept all for friends list, which I also appreciate. Thor is getting an upgrade for the tutorial, which you should appreciate if you're just starting the game. And we're getting new Academy missions in the Shield Academy. So more rewards, more crystals. Very exciting. Basically, it's amazing for all players because it's just really easy stuff that's going to net you a bunch of free rewards and extra crystals. And then extra improvements. In addition to new trivia questions. Whoop, whoop. I also am curious to see if the Villain Siege Stage 1 mission is going to be easier or harder, because they said the difficulty was adjusted. I'm guessing it's going to be easier, but hopefully it's going to be harder. The other improvements that I want to talk about, I usually skip this part, but it's important because Nebula's model has been modified to reflect the movie more accurately, and I think what this is referring to, if you go in-game, is actually the fact that Nebula's uniform is not showing that orange piece on her head. It's actually showing the blue, so I think they're actually going to change that color and make that top light blue piece on the left side. They're going to make that orange to reflect the kind of the good Nebula, because this Nebula is obviously a superhero, not a supervillain. So I think that's really cool. And in addition to that, in addition to a change that's already being made, they've stated again, Marvel Future Fight's May update draws near with new characters and content. We hope you enjoy the contents that we have prepared for everyone, including some to improve the overall experience of the game. Second, the endgame update is not over yet, so you have confirmation that it's not over. Additionally, additional updates and contents, including skill improvements, so they're being specific now, are being prepared, and improvements include, but are not limited to, character skill modifications. So modifying existing character skills like Iron Man, possibly Thor, possibly Hulk, Black Widow, Nebula, Captain America. Who else needs skill buffs? Rocket? No, just mostly Iron Man, maybe War Machine a little bit. Coming in mid-July. So it's still more than a month away. It's presumably going to happen after Spider-Man Far From Home. But this is amazing. I think this is a fantastic update, and not only are they communicating stuff to us that's months down the line, they're giving us an ETA, and they're telling us that they're going to be doing skill improvements, and they're giving us all this free stuff and new characters. And again, basically the only thing that's missing to make this update absolutely perfect and like top 5 all time would be new content. Hopefully the next update has that, either buffs to existing content or a brand new game mode. But let me know what you guys think of the patch notes. I'm very excited. I can't wait to dive into Iceman, Bishop, and Jubilee. Be sure to make it to twitch.tv/Cynicalex because there's going to be a party, I can promise you that. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you later on today. Take care.